Hi, okay, so my name is Joy and I'm 17 years old and I'm going to be going to my senior year of high school in just a couple weeks now. And I want to talk about verbal apraxia, which is something that I have. It is also commonly known as childhood apraxia or developmental apraxia, which basically means it's something that you start out having since you were born. And what it is basically it's a neurological condition where, while your brain is able to form words and stuff, and your mouth is totally capable of saying those words, it's a connection between the two that gets mixed up. So it basically makes talking kind of difficult. I was diagnosed with it at 3 years old. 3 or 4 actually. I was in preschool basically. And I went to therapy right away. So I would be pulled out of my usual preschool activities a couple times a week and I would talk to someone. And it was just speech therapy, right? I basically learned how to talk because what was happening is I kind of lacked the natural muscle memory that comes as a child, which would usually help you learn how to talk easily. But I wasn't able to talk. I was just babbling. My mom pretty much says it was like I had my own little language, and no one could understand what I was saying. It was actually really confusing to me because I thought I was saying stuff, but no one was able to understand me. So I'm like, hey, why am I talking and no one is answering me or answering my question or whatever? So it was actually really frustrating. So I started therapy in preschool and I continued through elementary school. And I think it was for pretty much most of my elementary school years, it would be about twice a week. And it was just 20-minute sessions, I think. It was really short. And I would actually be in the supply closet with my speech therapist because school budget cuts, yeah. But anyways, and what therapy was usually is we would sit down with a game, we would play Go Fish a lot, for example. And while we were doing that, we would just talk. I would read sentences, and as we did that, my therapist would identify words and stuff, or sounds that I was having issues saying, and we would work with it. We would use one of those little recording boxes, a tape recorder. That's what I'm thinking of. And I would listen back to myself, and again, I was just learning how to talk. And it was really effective, actually. I used to not even be able to say my own name. Even then, a lot of people just talking was very difficult for me, but I was kind of oblivious to this as a young child, which was probably a good thing. I had some issues making friends in elementary school, but I don't remember ever being bullied for it. And yeah, that was basically that. And I continued therapy into middle school up until I think 8th grade was the first year where we kind of opted out of doing it because I kind of gotten to the point where I wasn't improving a whole lot. But it was also middle school where I started to become a little bit self-conscious about it because I realized for the first time, hey, I didn't sound like everyone else. Why is that? Because in elementary school, no one really cared because everyone was in their own little bubble. But middle school is the years of just uncomfortable growing up stuff. And people would come and ask me, hey, are you British or Canadian or Australian? And they would just be asking me where's your accent from? And I'm like, I don't have an accent. I live right here in the United States my entire life. And I didn't think a whole lot of it. It kind of made me uncomfortable once in a while, and I would only sometimes be hey, it's actually a speech impediment. I was born with it. I work on it all the time. It's actually kind of a pain sometimes when there are words that I just can't seem to say. But yeah, it still wasn't the biggest deal. It never really inhibited me from anything. But I do remember 6th grade, I just became so self-conscious about it, and I just wouldn't talk at all in class. I think 6th grade I actually had basically no friends, and I just didn't talk to anyone because I was so scared about what they would think about my voice. And I don't think it was actually that bad, but for me personally, I just knew, oh crap, I can't say these sounds and these words, and I should be able to because, I'm 12, 13, like, I should be able to talk like a normal person now, but, oh well, looks like I can't. But anyways, middle school, I eventually got over myself, and I stopped speech therapy because it had gotten to the point where there just wasn't any real improvement happening. So I started high school. And by high school, I pretty much came to terms that, hey, this is just this thing that I have to live with. And I think one of the common misconceptions about childhood apraxia is it affects you past the age of childhood. Like, obviously, it gets identified when you're young. And it's usually, in those first 10, 15 years of life that you really focus on it because, you have to learn how to talk. But after so much therapy and whatnot, it's just what it is. Like, even though I have gotten to the point where I think I can pretty much talk and other people can understand me, there are still words and sounds I struggle with. And a lot of times I would kind of like alter the way I talk or like the words I choose to make it easier for me because I want to be able to I want to be able to be understood as clearly as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much, I don't know, what else do I want to say? I don't know, like, it really hasn't affected me that much. Like, again, it is something I constantly have to think about, and when I talk, like, there's a part of me that just has to focus on where does my tongue go and what shape does my lips make so I can say the things that I want to say to other people. But, like, I have a job, I talk to customers every day, I have friends, I talk to people, I'm involved in school, and I have 1 year left. Like, it hasn't really prevented me from doing anything that I really want to do. Like, it has presented itself as a little bit of a challenge occasionally, but this is where I'm at now. I basically just wanted to make this video, especially for, like, I guess parents or other kids who have, like, childhood apraxia of speech, because, like, I used to not be able to talk basically at all. Like, I didn't talk much until the age of 3, and even then, no one could understand me. And now look at where I'm at. I mean, improvement, But yeah, like, I just want to make this because I don't feel like there's a whole lot out there about what it's like past a certain age. Because I still have verbal apraxia, I've just learned how to deal with it better. And yeah, I mean, yes, that's all I have to say. I hope this was helpful and beneficial. I kind of just making this on the fly. I hope I didn't leave anything out. Yeah, thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. I'm doing this without editing or anything. I didn't even script it because I kind of wanted to make this as natural as possible. So you can hear, like, hey, this is how I sound like without, like, any prior preparation. This is just me saying the words in my head. Yeah, cool. Have a lovely day. Yay.